It's a great day once again. My name is Nati Gule, and I am pleased to be hosting the 2024 Positivity Series because we're here to inspire, to empower, and to help you grow. And today's message or today's theme is going to be positivity in opportunities. We know that we're in a country that is filled with opportunities, and at times it's called Africa's new promise. So while you're going on that business search, while you're going on that job search, you need to know where you're looking. You need to know the basics because they say if you want to hide something, put it in a book. And in these days, if you want to hide something, put it in a website because people, they don't go on website. People go on Facebook, they go on social media, TikTok, and they don't really get the information that is going to change their lives. One of the billionaires says that he never did anything much. He just read a book and that made him a multi-billionaire. So today, that is what we're going to do. We're bringing the books to you in the form of a human being. Our guest today is Zizwe Vilane. He's worked in the investment space for a very long time and is also very passionate about business and uplifting communities and people. I'm excited, Mr. Vilane, to have you on the show today.
Pleasure, Nati. Pleasure to join.
I said Mr. Vilane, and I know people normally say, no, just call me Zizwe.
Yep.
Just call me John.
Better. Makes it easy.
But you know how we've been culturalized, it has to
We're
be
respectful people.
Yeah, very much so. You just can't, I need to put the Mr. there. Well, the tradition of our podcast is we ask you your profession in this way. Okay. If they were to stop one of your children in town and say, what does your dad do? How would they answer? How do you think they would answer? What do they know you're doing?
My kids know their father is somebody who deals mostly in empowering people or human beings, if I may put it.
Okay.
Because my passion is a human being.
Oh, fantastic.
And that's what I work day to day is human beings.
And then a family member would describe you, an older family member who sees you in the papers and everywhere else. How would they describe you?
My mom thinks I'm everywhere. I do everything. I need to take space and rest instead of trying to do everything. Yeah.
No, fantastic. It's a pleasure to have you. You really have a lot of experience and skills in the investment business space. And we're just here to have a conversation to say that young person, even that older person who's watching this podcast and is thinking, wow, 2024, if I stand up from this chair, which direction do I go? What's the outlook business-wise, opportunity-wise for Eswatini? What's likely to be happening this year? What can people look out for?
Thank you, Natia. First, maybe I would appreciate that you said you're talking to young people, but also the guy at home, Lomzala, can listen in. And in saying, we are in a country that is 70% youth.
100%.
So for me, whenever I talk empowerment, I'm talking to a young person, that below 35-year-old, in saying, Vuga, stop sitting in that corner, get up and go get it. I've been supporting the UNDP in the past 12 months or so. We've come up with the Eswatini Youth Empowerment Program.
Love it. I love
that seeks to empower young people in various areas. We've got a graduate placement program. We've got a skills development program, and we've got the third component that should be coming through this year, which is the entrepreneurship component. Okay. Well, we're saying for those young people that want to be the future Elon Musks of this world and you don't want self-help, come through, let us empower you.
Sorry to cut you there, though. You're talking about all these interesting graduating training. I do know that talking of thousands of applications and placements in the hundreds. Yeah. But there's someone watching this and say, what? I never heard of this. Where is this information found?
We've actually developed a portal. So if you go online, you'll find www.EYEP, which is Eswatini Youth Empowerment Program.org. So if you go into that portal, you'll find all the programs that we're running.
Okay.
You'll be also able to access information on who is eligible for these programs and what is happening within the different pillars of this program.
How would you encourage a young person to have that nose for finding these portals? Because it's not like they're written on billboards. And then when we were growing up, we used to put our ear on the ground and we'd hear the sound and we'd know there's a party over there. Yeah. How can the young person know that there's a portal over there?
I think the greatest challenge that we've uncovered as we roll out these programs is realizing that a bulk of our youth sits in rural Eswatini
Okay.
and has no access to your internet or your smartphones. So whatever information we bring forth, some of them are not able to access that data. So going forward, we are partnering with SETCO and the Eswatini Communications Commission to set up what we call iHubs.
Okay.
And the first iHub is coming up in Sitegi. So what is an iHub? It's a place where a young person can go into, find free internet, find a computer center where you're able to access data, access information on programs within the country that are aimed at empowering young people, but also apply for some of the interventions that we are bringing forth for young people.
What are the exciting sectors that I know at one point in time catering was big, Sisa Skwenetwa kind of vibe, and everybody was going to catering. In 2024, where's the wind blowing towards? Which sectors can I jump into?
At a bigger scale, we're obviously seeing tech as one of the top.
100%.
We're seeing AI, big data analytics. I've been talking to corporates like MTN, your FNBs that have been saying we need more skills in big data analytics. How do we use AI to understand behavior of our customers, etc. But you're also seeing agriculture. We are in Africa, after all. We are in Eswatini. One of the documents that I've been supporting the government on is the development of the African Free Continental Trade Area Strategy for the country, which was presented to cabinet. And one of the areas that we've picked is to say Africa imports more than 100 billion in food. We need to produce our own food. Between ourselves as African countries, our regional intra-Africa trade is 3%, which means the 97% we import from other countries in the world as a continent. So for us, we're saying we need to produce food. Pharmaceuticals, we're also importing a lot of medicines as a continent, and we need to close that back gap. Cybersecurity, being hit now,
and that's a big one,
and all these issues that are coming into our part of the world. But there's quite a number of sectors: construction and real estate, etc.
But young people like the arts; they want to be the next Uncle Waffles. So.
I think we shouldn't discourage them, Nati. We come from, I think, a dispensation that says, why are you thinking about artists or singing as a career? You're wasting time, And parents used to look at that as funny. And even today, if you ask your kid, what are you doing? I'm a content creator. And the question is, you're wasting time. But the reality is we've seen people monetizing that, creating value out of that. And where we're moving with young people is look at yourself individually as a brand. And saying, as a brand, what do I stand for? And what do I want people to associate this brand with?
It's very interesting, Zizwe, because do you know one artist creates employment for a minimum of 30 people?
Yeah.
From the wardrobe to the drummer to the guitarist to the one who does the graphic design to the photographer to the video makers, the ones who do a shoot. Just one artist making it is huge for decreasing this 59% unemployment rate.
And a huge risk sitting at the end because we've just signed the Continental Agreement that says we're opening our markets to all the African member states, which means if our SMMEs and our youth is not competitive in the services industry, we'll be importing services. So we need to start building those pillars and making sure that our young people can stand. When I made this presentation, for example, to cabinet, one of the pictures I carried was Waffles. The second one was Mbongseni Fagutse.
Interesting.
Who is an artist sitting and a painter sitting in South Africa. His latest picture sold for 350,000 emalangeni.
My goodness.
And I was saying, this is a Swazi out there plying his trade. What can we do as a country now in making sure we can take more out there? So I'm happy to note that the government has just passed the SME policy that speaks to a number of issues. One of them is from this year, actually. We are saying, if you see a billboard or you see an annual report or a publication, the pictures in there should be locals. It should be someone I can relate with. Don't go take stock photo from the internet and put it on a billboard. It's going to be enshrined within the instruments as part of the Citizen Economic Empowerment Act. Within that, we're also saying that shelf at Spite, Pick and Pay, at ShopRite, we want a certain percentage reserved for eMaswati. These are just some of the things that are coming as part of this new act.
So you're hearing it direct on our Positivity series. There are plenty of opportunities, and that is the discussion we have for today. And the good thing about this kind of media, you can rewatch it and listen carefully on the portal. Know the portal, know the different places that you can go. I'm carrying the pencil because he said a painting was sold for 350,000. So once this whole podcast is done, I'm going to give myself a try. We're continuing with our positivity series. Thank you so much. It's very an eye-opening discussion. I also do want to know. You spoke about pharmaceuticals, cybersecurity. There's this gentleman sitting Egutseni. They're on Wi-Fi. They're hotspotted this, and they're watching it, and they're hearing you speak pharmaceutical. They're thinking, "Oh my goodness, I don't even have 5 Emalangeni, and he's talking about such a big industry." What of those dreamers who are capable, healthy, intelligent, and they'd love to one day be the next pharmaceutical provider and help with our health crisis? Where does the country meet them?
I think more than anything, it starts with the individual.
Okay, how the individual meets the country,
The person himself.
Yeah.
Because there's a number of songs.
Okay.
You know, I always tell young people, be visible, be present, show up. That is all you can do as a young person. Show up. And the rest will come into play. But within that is very important in making sure that the people you keep around you, your sphere of influence, are the right people to make sure that you stay focused on where you want to go. Why I'm saying this is because we have a lot of programs that I personally have been driving, for example, to empower young people. I've worked with organizations like Women in Trade and Development, NEMBOD, and so on, training them on how to capacitate MSWAT to be able to tackle business. But what we find on the ground is lack of the people that want to take advantage of these opportunities. And when it comes to a young person, the biggest threat is simply instant gratification. I want the benefit now. Yet the reality is time sacrifice is what will take you somewhere. So we need those young people to think around those issues. But from a government standpoint, I'm currently working on a program with the UNDP. We will be launching this year a youth empowerment program. We will start in agriculture.
Oh, okay.
We are coming with guaranteed contracts.
Okay.
We are coming with support in terms of your technology, your drip irrigation, your tunnels. We're coming with a standard that we've developed with the Standards Authority. We're coming with a platform. We've developed a fintech platform called the Agri-Fintech Accelerator, which links the farmer to the retailer. So when that order moves from SPAR to the farmer, it passes all the banks. Now you get an offer on the loan.
Okay.
You get the input supplies. And when you sell through the app. So we build your KYC, but over time. And these are some of the things that we believe need to be done. We need to be deliberate as a country in empowering the domestic economy.
But then how can Tobegile in Hlatikulu position herself to be ready by the time that announcement comes out? How can she be ready to know that it's out in between her scrolling TikTok?
We'll obviously make sure, one, there's a huge national campaign around it, beyond the mainstream channels that we use, your social media, etc., engaging radio, going to platforms like print media, etc. But beyond that, really, we believe that we are putting what we call agri-hubs. So in each region, we'll have an agriculture hub. The agri-hub is where you'll find the information, you'll find extension services, you'll find inputs. Because we've realized that the Swazi can't compete, because I have to drive from Hlatikulu on my small packet to buy 1 bag of fertilizer and try to compete with a farmer across the border sitting on 1,000 hectares. So we need to try and create space for our SMMEs. We're happy to also note that government is coming to the table. Yesterday, I was fortunate to be invited to the cabinet retreat at the Royal Villas. And one of the issues that we spoke about was the domestic investor or the SMME, to say, you look around, you go to Blanzeni or under a mountain in Swazi Nation land, there's a guy from outside doing business. But there's a law that says no foreigner shall operate business on SNL. Having said that, I still believe that there are micro industries. Cleaning in Swaziland is still driven by foreign investors. You know, security is still driven by foreign investors. These are industries we can play in. But the problem is when you give Zizwe that security contract, he sends this guy with an airtime or with a cell phone with no airtime, buzz me when the thugs come, no uniform, etc. And that is why we
excellence, lack of excellence.
100%.
But everyone's listening and they're thinking, wow, so many opportunities, so little time, so little positioning on my side, and they're asking themselves, what key resources can you share with them in terms of which websites can they search throughout 2024 to continue? Because I personally, I search the towns. I search Ezulwini Municipality. I search Mbabane City Municipal Council. I search Manzini. They always poster there. But which key ones, including Bo IPA, would you like to share with the viewers?
I can say one. The Eswatini Youth Empowerment Program is a flagship for empowerment of young people in the country.
Okay.
So do visit the Youth Empowerment website that I spoke about, eyep.org. Do visit the UNDP website, undp.org, because a lot of these programs are coming under the UNDP in supporting the government of Eswatini to launch youth-friendly projects and empowerment initiatives. Do look into websites like the Royal Science and Technology Park that is driving programs with the World Bank on STEM, which is your maths, your mathematics, your robotics, your AI. Because at the end of the day, Nat, whatever we do as a country, we must always be futuristic in saying we cannot compete with the same skills going forward. Into the future, maths, sciences, etc. are key in making sure that a Maswati can stand their space anywhere in the world.
Wow. Those are very key sites. I've been there, and just on the UN website alone, you can spend days and days just digging up information that can even take you across the world, and you come back with a wealth of information, investment, capital, and a lot of things that can really change your life, your community, and those around you. And last but not least, is there what would be your parting shot, or just something you'd like the young people of Eswatini and also the older to carry through with them for the rest of the 2024 as they do their opportunity search and trying to plug themselves and position themselves?
I think at the end of the day, we all have reasons why we can't make 1, 2, 3 happen. It's a new year. People come with resolutions. This is what I want to achieve in this year. My message is very simple. At the end of each day, ask yourself, what have I achieved today? And if there are days where you can count for nothing, then you must know it's time wasted. The only resource that you can never gain in this world is time.
That's true.
And it's not, there's a quote about wealth not accruing to the smart or to the swift, but time and chance happening to all of us.
Okay.
And for me, it's time and chance.
Okay.
So it speaks about positioning. And it goes back to 3 things. Time management.
100%.
Sphere of influence, I always go back to that.
Love it.
And saying the mentorship, the coaches, the people that you keep around you. And thirdly, vision. I'm from Buleni, Nati. You understand?
Yeah.
Growing up, I thought, my dream is to board an aeroplane one day.
Wow.
You understand?
Vision, yeah.
I boarded an aeroplane until one day I opened up and the king was standing there and saying, "Hey," I said, "Your Majesty." And I was flying with the king.
Wow.
And I've been to almost every corner of the world.
You dream it,
and
achieve it.
Why? Because from early stage, I said, I don't want to be here. I want to change this. And I'm a brand. And that brand will be influenced from the way it dresses to the way it speaks and how it presents itself. And that is what I would like to give a young person.
Wow. I've just looked at that verse, time and chance, in a different way altogether. I've known it all my life, but yes, indeed, we all have time and chance, and it's just all about how we use it. Thank you so much, Zizwe. We will be following you. We will be following all those portals that you've shared. And of course, I hope you've been empowered, inspired, and it will help you grow through 2024. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of the 2024 Positivity Series podcast. Thank you.